Welcome friends. Let us discuss about part 2 of our chapter 1, that is electrostatics. Here we will deal with the introduction about charges and Coulomb's law, which discusses about the force of attraction or repulsion between the charges, and electric field intensity, types of charge distributions, and electric field intensity derivations due to infinite line charge and infinite sheet charges. So suppose if you consider a test charge q, and in space you will be not only having one charge, but there will be number of charges placed randomly in the space. So each charge has a force of attraction or repulsion with this test charge depending on the polarity of those charges. Okay, so what is the force between them, whether a force of attraction or a force of repulsion exists between them, what is the magnitude of that force? Mainly our subject electromagnetic fields will focus on the how to solve the force between any two charges, and what is the direction of that force, what is the magnitude of that force. All these calculations we will do in this particular unit. Okay, suppose here on this main test charge q, this charge q1 will exert a force f1, and this charge q2 will exert a force f2. Like that each charge will exert some force on the main charge q. Now what is the total overall force that is acting on this test charge q is nothing but, according to principle of superposition, the sum of all those individual forces is nothing but the total overall force acting on that main test charge q. Okay, this is called as principle of superposition. Next, Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction or repulsion on a charge q due to a single point charge small q is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the charges. This is the basic law given by Coulomb. The force of attraction or repulsion between two charges is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. And the expression is F equal to product of two charges by square of the distance between the charges. This is the constant 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and this r bar is the unit vector that is acting along the direction of this force. Okay, and the constant epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity, which is 8.85 into 10 power minus 12. Next, we already said that from principle of superposition, the total force acting on a particular charge q is the sum of the individual forces by each charge. Already we got the formula for F from the Coulomb's law. So we are substituting that formulas for F and we are simplifying that expression. Next, let us see one example on how to find the charge, what is the force that is acting on the charge with the help of Coulomb's law. See the model. 4 point charges each of 10 microcoulombs are placed in phase space at these points. See, 1 0 0 means it is a point on x-axis. Okay, here point A, and here charge q1 is placed. Minus 1 0 0 means negative side of the x-axis, this is point B, that is charge is placed. 0 1 0 means point on y-axis. 0 minus 1 0 means point on negative y-axis. Now all the charges, 4 charges that are placed in these 4 points will exert some force on a new point at 0 0 1. Here at 0 0 1 means that is on z axis there is another charge 30 microcoulombs which is placed on z axis. Now what is the total force that is acting on this charge at P due to all these 4 charges? That is the problem. So to find the force, what is the formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square into AR bar. So AR is nothing but the unit vector. So for each point I am finding the unit vector. Suppose 1 0 0 means simply it is a point on x-axis with 1 unit distance. So AX, B point is minus AX, like that we are deciding the unit vectors for all the points. And after that, from Coulomb's law we are using the formula for force. How to find the unit vector means distance vector between the 2 points divided by magnitude of that vector. So like that you are finding the unit vector, and if you substitute that in the force formula, we will get the force acting on P due to the first charge at A. Similarly, all the points are symmetrical, so all the unit vectors magnitude will be same. So let us find those unit vectors by finding the distance vectors, and their magnitude is same. So after finding them, find each individual force. F2 is the force on Q due to the second charge, F3, F4. After finding all the forces, by principle of superposition, the total force that is exerted is sum of the individual forces. Superposition principle. So after adding, you will get the total force acting on charge Q due to the remaining 4 charges. This is the application of Coulomb's law problem. Next, take another example. Point charges of 3q, minus 2q and 1q are placed at each corner of an equilateral triangle. See, this is an equilateral triangle. At the corners, you have located 3 charges. They are asking you to find electric field intensity E bar at the midpoint of 3q and 1q. That means here, at point P, they are asking you to find E bar. So anyway, we are taking some axis. Suppose if you take one point on x-axis, what is the point? 1, 0, 0. If you take origin 0, 0, 0, like that, you decide coordinates of all the points. That is our wish, we can take on any side. And what is the formula for E? Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into AR. So you know the value of charge, distances, points and all those. Substitute them and you will find the electric field intensities from all sides. Suppose at this point P, you will have electric field intensity due to this 1q, due to this 3q as well as due to this minus 2q. So total 3 electric field intensities will come, and by adding all those 3, you can find the total electric field intensity at point P. Okay. Now coming to types of charge distributions. In how many ways charge is distributed in space? First one is point charge. Point charge is nothing but if the dimensions of the surface carrying charge is very, very small, then the corresponding charge is said to be point charge. That may be positive or negative. We will represent like this. Suppose if a charge is uniformly distributed along a line like this, then that is line charge. Charge density is given by the ratio of total charge divided by total length. So rho L equal to Q by length. So from that total charge Q equal to integral rho L dl. Okay. Next, surface charge means if a charge is distributed uniformly over a 2-dimensional surface, then that is called as surface charge. So surface charge density is charge divided by surface area. So from that Q equal to integral rho S ds. This area will go that side. So rho S into ds. Integration means integration over a small differential surface will give you the total surface. Next, volume charge means if the charge is uniformly distributed in a volume, then it is called as a volume charge. Volume charge density is total charge divided by total volume, which is Q equal to integral rho v dv. This is the information about charge distributions. Next, coming to electric field intensity. See, there exists a region around a charge in which it exerts a force on any other charge. It is nothing but electric field only. In electric field, every charge will have a force of attraction or repulsion on every other charge. Like that, the force exerted per unit charge is called as electric field intensity or electric field strength. It is a vector quantity. The force per unit charge is called as the force per unit charge equal to F by Q is called as electric field intensity. See, suppose there is a charge Q1 at the center. A charge Q2 of same polarity is brought near to Q1 and it is made to rotate like this. Now, there will be a force of repulsion in constant because everywhere the position is same. So, the force that is exerted on Q1 due to Q2 is given by F2 equal to Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square A12. This is the general formula given by Coulomb's law. Now what is electric field intensity? E equal to F by Q. E equal to F by Q. So E equal to F means already we know this formula, by Q is nothing but due to this charge only force is coming now. So by Q2, this is the formula for electric field intensity E bar. Okay. Next, let us do one problem based on electric field intensity. Find the electric field intensity at point minus 0.20 and minus 2.3 due to a point charge of 5 nanocoulombs at this point. See, I am locating the 2 points. If you find the distance vector and if you find the magnitude, you can find the unit vector. Q bar, P bar minus Q bar by mod P bar minus Q bar will give you the unit vector in this direction. And E bar formula is just we have derived Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR bar. Substitute all those values, you will find the electric field intensity due to one charge on the other charge. This is the procedure for finding E bar. Next, coming to some derivations. Electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge. Infinite line charge means if a charge is uniformly distributed throughout a line. See, this is the line charge, this dark line, which is placed along z-axis in a Cartesian coordinate system. This is the derivation for electric field intensity due to infinite line charge. See, we are assuming that a infinite line charge is placed along z-axis, and I want to find the electric field intensity at a point P. See, this is the point P. I want to find E here. Due to what? Due to the line charge that is present here. Okay. Due to the line charge that is present on z-axis, I want to find the electric field intensity at this point P. I can't take the total infinite length, so I am taking only a small differential length dl. So what is the point dl 0, 0, z? Because it is at a height of z. Okay, this is the small differential part, and the distance vector from dl to P is AR bar, and the distance is R. Okay. So we know that this is a line charge. So what is the charge? dq equal to rho L dl. dl is nothing but dz. So coordinates of the points also we have decided. This coordinate is 0, 0, z, and the coordinate of point P is, this point P is on y-axis. So only y point will exist and x and z coordinates are 0. So R bar is Rp minus RL. Okay, this is the vector in AR. Okay, so divided by that magnitude will give you the AR bar unit vector. R bar divided by mod R bar will give you the AR unit vector in R direction. So we already know that electric field intensity due to a point charge is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR bar, where Q is equal to rho L dz. On substituting this, we will get the differential electric field only due to this small differential portion. But I want the electric field at this point due to the entire length of this. So if you integrate over this dE, you will get the total electric field intensity. So dE is nothing but only a small portion. If you integrate it from minus infinity to infinity, because it is an infinite line charge, on integrating this expression, we will get the total electric field intensity. On simplifying this, we will get total electric field intensity due to a infinite line charge is rho L by 2 pi epsilon naught R into AY bar volts per meter. In general, in the place of AY, you can take AR. So what is the electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge? E bar is equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR bar volts per meter. This formula we should remember, which is very important for bits. Okay, the electric field intensity due to infinite line charge is E bar equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon naught R AR bar volts per meter. Now we should derive the electric field intensity due to a charged circular ring. So here I am taking a circular ring of radius R. I want to find the electric field intensity at point P due to the current or this charged circular ring. So I am taking a small differential length dl on this complete ring. On this complete ring I am taking only a small differential length dl, and due to this dl I want to find the electric field intensity at this point P. Okay, so what is the distance r bar? So you find r bar by mod r bar will give you the unit vector, and also here I will consider cylindrical coordinate system. Assume that a cylinder is placed along this circular ring. A cylinder is placed along this circular ring with radius r. Okay, so we know that general electric field intensity formula is q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square a r bar. In the place of q we are using line charge. A line charge is distributed along this circle, so rho l dl. So I am substituting this. These are the differential lengths in cylindrical coordinate systems. So from this I will decide the r bar. R bar is nothing but the resultant of this z into az bar and minus r into ar bar. See, actually ar bar will be outwards. Unit vector perpendicular to the surface of the cylinder is ar bar outwards, but here we should take the distance inside, then only you will get the resultant. So inside means minus ar bar. So r bar is z into az bar minus r into ar bar. So this is the r bar. And if you find mod r bar, then you can find the unit vector ar bar, that is r bar by mod r bar. So finally you are having the expression for differential electric field intensity dE bar, which you have already simplified and kept here up to this expression. So in the place of ar bar you substitute this r bar by mod r bar, and on simplifying you will get the expression for dE as follows. And this is only the electric field intensity due to a small differential length of the ring. But if you want the complete electric field intensity due to the whole circular ring, then integrate over the cylindrical coordinate limits. Already we know the radius, already we know the z value. The only variable value is phi running from 0 to 2 pi. If you substitute that, this is the electric field intensity E bar due to a charged circular ring at a point P. Rho l into rz by 2 epsilon naught r square plus z square whole power 3 by 2 into az bar volts per meter. This is the electric field intensity due to a charged circular ring. Next, the last concept in this part is electric field intensity due to an infinite sheet of charge. Sheet of charge means, see, there is a sheet of charge you are taking like this, which is taken in xy plane. Your sheet of charge is kept in xy plane. I am not considering the entire sheet of charge. Consider only a small differential surface ds. I want to find electric field intensity at point P due to this small differential infinite sheet of charge. Small differential sheet of charge. Due to this part, what is the electric field intensity at this point P? I want to find out. So what is the distance from this differential part ds to point P? The distance is r bar, and the unit vector in this direction is ar bar. Okay, so this is the differential surface. So how to decide this r bar? We will see that. And anyway, this is the sheet charge. Sheet charge means surface charge, not line charge. So dq is rho s into ds, where ds in cylindrical coordinate system is r dr d phi. Imagine a cylinder that is placed along this. Imagine that a cylinder is placed along this small differential surface. So a cylinder will come like this. So what is this r bar? R bar is z az bar into minus r into ar bar. R bar is the resultant of this part and this part, z az bar and minus r into ar bar. Okay, so already we know that electric field intensity is dq by 4 pi epsilon naught r square ar bar. So dq means you substitute this expression here. Okay, ar bar means r bar by mod r bar, where r bar is equal to minus ar bar plus z into az bar. So r bar by mod r bar will give you the unit vector in the direction of small differential sheet of charge. So dE bar lo you substitute that r bar by mod r bar unit vector direction, and you will get a simplified expression for dE. But this is a cylindrical coordinate system and the points are r, phi and z. Z limit is anyway z, you leave it like that only, but r and phi limits are taken. R is from 0 to infinity and phi is from 0 to 2 pi. Integrate it over it and you will get the expression for electric field intensity at a point P due to infinite sheet of charge is E bar equal to rho s by 2 epsilon naught A n bar volts per meter. This formula is very, very important. This will directly come as competitive exam bits also. So electric field intensity E bar is equal to rho s by 2 epsilon naught A n bar volts per meter. This is the electric field intensity due to infinite sheet of charge, rho s by 2 epsilon naught A n bar volts per meter. Okay. So these are the problems for applications of those derivations. This is an infinite line charge. They have given you the rho L value and are asking you to find the E bar at a particular point. Already we know that E bar due to infinite line charge is rho L by 2 epsilon naught R into AR bar. They have given you the points also. Find the distance vector, find the unit vector and substitute them here. You will get the E bar due to infinite line charge. Similarly, this is a problem for application of E bar due to a charged circular ring. For a charged circular ring, we know the formula for E bar, how to find that, apply that procedure. Next, there is another problem. Infinite sheet of charge. Already just now we have derived electric field intensity at a point P due to infinite sheet of charge is rho s by 2 epsilon naught into A n bar volts per meter. Rho s by 2 epsilon naught A n bar volts per meter. So they gave you rho s value. Rho s value is 20 nanocoulombs per meter square. Epsilon naught, you know that value. And the unit vector that is perpendicular to this is AY. AY in this direction and minus AY in this direction. Okay. So you can find on both sides, no problem. Okay. On substituting them, you will get the value of electric field intensity due to an infinite sheet of charge. These are direct applications of formulas in the derivations. Okay. Thank you.